Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Polly's Pantry. Today we're going to be going back and making an old school supper club classic called steak au poivre. And what it is a peppercorned steak reduced in cognac and heavy whipping cream. Makes a beautiful sauce. And we're going to do that with some just simple roasted asparagus tonight. Thought we'd go back in time a little bit here. This is the weekend in the Midwest where we spring ahead and lose an hour of sleep tonight, moving our clocks forward. So we thought we'd do the opposite, just take a step back and do an old school supper club classic, really popular, mid-70s, early 80s. Nowadays, you don't really see it too much. You'll see a steak with like a green peppercorn sauce, and that's pretty much the same thing, where instead of peppercorning and peppercorn crusting the steak, they'll make a green peppercorn sauce to pour over the steak. What we have today is a really nice little 12-ounce New York strip, our peppercorns, some simple asparagus, and as always, nice glass of wine. Today we have a Zinfandel from the Klein Vineyards in California. A little more aggressive than what we had in the past, but I thought the aggressive wine would pair really nicely with our aggressively flavored steak. So let's go back in time, make an old school favorite. Salud. Okay, before we get going with prepping our steak, we're going to start our asparagus. And what I have is just a simple bunch of asparagus, local grocery store. And if you notice with the asparagus, there's a woody end here. See how it snaps off? That's the part that you don't want. And what I do is I just run the rubber band along where I want to cut it. Cut the asparagus in a bunch like this. So you've got kind of a one-stop chopping type of a deal here. You're not cutting each piece of asparagus individually. Saves a little bit of time in the kitchen. We've got our oven preheated to 375. Lay our asparagus in our now famous dollar store foil pans. Nice fresh lemon. Good squeeze of that. Gotta have it. Not the pantry without our shorty white wines. Drop it a little bit in there. Couple of turns of pepper. Couple of shakes of kosher salt. That's simple. And as we cook the steak, we're gonna pop this in a 375-degree oven, 8 to 10 minutes. On a personal, this is my cousin Zelda's very favorite side dish. Callie, we're thinking about you here in the pantry. Okay, we're ready to start our steak. Just stepping back really quickly. If you remember a few episodes ago, we did all those mushrooms and we saved the stems and then cleaned all that shrimp and we saved all the shells. Same deal with these. Hang on to these asparagus stems. That's gonna help you really flavor your stock, whether it's a chicken stock or a vegetable stock. Again, something for a risotto, something for a soup, really helps kind of elevate everything. So what we've got is a mix of peppercorns. We've got pink, we've got white, we've got black, we've got red. Just comes in a bag from Amazon. Really simple. Speaking of a bag, we're gonna put all these peppercorns into a little Ziploc bag here. And either with a meat tenderizer or a good old-fashioned rolling pin, like my mother used to chase me around the house with. And kind of break these peppercorns up. And you want a really nice, coarse blend of the peppercorn. There's a really great steakhouse out in Las Vegas that does them like whole, and they'll actually crush your New York strip with whole peppercorns. It's really good. Or just use your pepper grinder, and you can use the coarse setting for that. That'll do the same trick. Okay, we got about a quarter cup here, and then we're just gonna keep mashing these up and then kind of crust our steak with the peppercorns. Okay, we've got the peppercorns crushed up. And again, it's a pretty coarse consistency. You'll see a little bit better as we coat them onto the steak. Little trick with the steak. This is a About a 12-ounce New York strip, just a Black Angus strip, not prime, not too expensive, not too crazy. Way back when this dish originated in France, used with venison, and the peppercorn and the cream would kind of cut the gaminess of the venison, as the research kind of told me here. You'll see it done with a filet, beef tenderloin. You'll see it done with the ribeye. It's really delicious with the ribeye. I happen to be in New York. Happens to be my favorite cut, so we're doing it with the New York today. And again, a pretty easy size to handle, not one of those giant steaks that you'll see in the steak houses there. So all we're gonna do is we've got our little peppercorn crunched up mixture here. Now I've had the steak out of the fridge a good 20 minutes. And that's gonna help the steak cook a little more evenly. It's not gonna have any of the cold spots. The steak will be kind of ready to go. And all I'm doing is just pressing the peppercorns onto the steak. Half a little bit of vegetable oil on there to make it stick, and there we have our peppercorned steak. We're gonna put about a little bit of butter in the pan and we'll start making dinner. I'm just about ready to get going with the steak. As always, we talk a lot about prep here at the pantry and getting stuff organized and getting stuff ready. This particular dish, you wanna make sure you have everything in front of you. It's gonna go fairly quickly, and we're gonna have a little bit of chaos when we add the cognac into the hot pan. We should get a really nice flambe. But as you'll see, we're ready to go here. We've got our steak set to go. Got the cognac ready, got the cream ready. Teflon pan, Teflon whisk, so you don't scratch it up. And I've got 3 tablespoons of butter, just a little bit of vegetable oil in here. Again, the vegetable oil is gonna help the butter not burn so quickly. And I've got a couple of sprigs of thyme and just a sprig of oregano. Some herbs that I had in the fridge. And this is gonna help kind of flavor the oil. I've got them just kind of steeping almost in the butter. I'm just kind of waking the butter up a little bit, kind of flavoring the butter as it melts into the pan. Asparagus is in the oven for about 10 minutes. And we're gonna heat up the pan a little bit and start our steak. Just go in there. All right. And again, you'll see, you can hear the pan talking to you, and you'll see the butter kind of starting to dance. So we've got a good, nice heat going on here. Gorgeous peppercorn steak, always away from you. And into the pan we go. And we're gonna let this just kind of saute, just kind of fry a little bit on about a medium heat, 3 minutes aside. Then we're gonna take it out and make our cognac sauce. All right, we've done 3 minutes on the first side. We're gonna turn. Look at that. You've got a really nice color on the New York. The fat is just starting to render. The peppercorns are cooked in. Another 3 minutes, we'll flip it again and have a little fun. Okay, been about 3 minutes on each side. Nice kind of medium-low heat, just a nice even cook, a nice even crust on the steak. How is my hair on that one, ladies and gentlemen? Looks pretty good. Now, I'm gonna make the cognac sauce. So what I'm gonna do, take the steak out. 2 sides every story, right? There's the B side, beautiful. And I'm gonna just let that rest on a fresh plate and kind of adjust here where you can see me. And again, here's where it gets a little chaotic. Here's where it gets a little fun. You see all the pan juices in there, all the peppercorn, all the juices from the steak. So it's called the fond, or the little funny little, the good little brown bits that are in there. All right, here's where we gotta pay attention. We've got our cognac, and this is gonna react pretty aggressively, and we should get a really nice flambe here. I've got just a Martell VSOP cognac. Like that. Got a pan here just in case, just like Captain America. Get that nice your hair. And I do want it to burn like this. I want all the flavor from the cognac to condense down. That's it. A little bit of heavy whipping cream. Turn the pan down just a little bit. And again, Teflon pan, Teflon whisk. Wish you could smell this right now. It is just amazing. This is going to thicken up really quickly. See it starting to bubble? Starting to come together real nice. Again, just what we're looking for. Get her nice and thick. This rivals that marsala gravy we made not too long ago. Once you learn how to make this, it is decadent, it is delicious. So I've got the pan down on low. We're just going to reposition our steak in there and baste it. And almost on the lowest flame that you got on your stove, just let that baste, let that be a good 2-3 minutes. And you're gonna have a phenomenal, old school steak au poivre. All right. Asparagus is just about ready. We're just about ready to plate. We're ready to eat. Be back in just a second. All right, just about ready to wrap things up at the pantry here. Our steak is ready to go. Did my little test here of rare, medium, well. Again, the firmer it is, the more well the steak is done. You can always use one of these little deals here. Come in real handy, an instant read thermometer. We're right at about 130 degrees, which should be a really nice medium rare. Before we wrap it up today, I want to say thank you to everyone. We are pushing 1,000 views here at the pantry. Thank you so much for your interest and for your support. We're about 120 friends on the Facebook page. Again, a lot of fun, a lot of back and forth, some mischievous behavior on Facebook, but we have a lot of fun. Check us out, like and share the page. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me see, we have dinner. So we've got our gorgeous peppercorn New York strip, peppercorn crusted, pan-seared, finished in a cognac and cream sauce. A little bit of thyme, just a sprig of oregano. And I'm just gonna spoon a little bit more over the top here. Let's pretend we're fancy. Put some extra on a plate, you can charge more, right? And again, really simple. It smells super fresh. Just a simple roasted asparagus that I think we're going to serve on the side. Maybe just like that. Made extra asparagus on purpose. Makes a heck of a snack, makes a killer omelet the next day with that roasted flavor. So our dinner here is all set. Let's take a peek and see what we did. Super tender. Really nice cut there. Nice temperature. A nice tender New York cuts very easily. There. You have our peppercorn steak. Oh man. Very flavorful. Get the crunch of the peppercorn. All set to go. Nice glass of wine along the side. Thank you again for joining us here at the pantry for an old school kind of turn back the clock Supper Cup Classic, steak au poivre, roasted asparagus, beautiful Zinfandel. We'll see you next time. We've got a couple of pro tips coming up that we're going to do with leftovers, a leftover baked potato. We're going to explore some different salsas, and then maybe get into some different pestos. We'll see you down the road. Thanks again for your time today.